So in the studio with us today is Marty Richards, the famous blues drummer, and my brilliant, wonderful husband. And on the bass, David Zinno, who also has a brilliant recording and touring career, but he's really sharing his jazz knowledge with the students of URI as a professor here in the music department. For how long, Dave?
Oh, geez, I don't know. I'm
He's
terrible
not sure
with dates,
how long.
but
Yeah.
over a decade.
But it's over a decade.
Yeah.
Wow. And of course, our resident Grammy Award nominee, Handy Award winner, and Rhode Island Music Hall of Famer, Rich Lataile, a founding member of Roomful of Blues, who's playing clarinet today.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so thanks for having us. Hey, Paul, can I take 30 seconds for an important shout out?
Sure.
We have some blues lovers listening in Cranston, Rhode Island today, and I've given them all blues names, so I'd like to, we've got Baby Boy Todd, love you, babe, Mr. Willie, Kumada Joe, Dana, they call him Derelict, Mad Drivin' Derek, and Big Boy Ryan. Love you guys.
Well, what have you been doing? You've got a project going in Rhode Island here, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I'm always working on millions of things, of course, but in addition to releasing One Steady Roll in June, which is the third CD of Ursula George, which features so many brilliant players, I've also been out on a little exploration of the United States, courtesy of a fellowship I received from the Rhode Island Foundation, and I've been documenting across our American landscape the presence and mostly absence of black vaudeville theaters in which the music that we tend to play was performed at the turn of the century through the late 20s. And it's an interesting lesson in how important or not music history is, in particular black music, which was so deeply influential to all the American music that followed, all the music for which other countries are so jealous of the United States, the jazz and the blues that makes our music history so great. So Marty and I did some traveling. We drove around through about 15 southern states in March, and of course many more theaters of this type were in the South. And then I took a trip through the Midwest and the East in August, and just met some great people, did some good documenting, came back with hundreds of video clips, and hope to put that all together into something I can share real soon.
Great, great.
Yeah.
Will it be published? Will it be like on YouTube or?
At least on YouTube, but maybe something more formal. You know, I'm a professional
Yeah, push that
historian
number
here.
one out of the way.
Yeah, push that away. I run a museum right here in Kingston and one in Matunic, and it's, you know, certainly the generosity of my employers that have allowed me to take on this project. So probably under the guise of the Pettaquamscut Historical Society, we'll do some sort of presentations of the final product.
Great. And
Yeah.
where are the museums? You mentioned
The Old Washington County Jail Museum, which is open Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, is right across the road here in Kingston in the old jail, the granite building just downhill from the Kingston Congregational Church. And Hale House is a seasonal historic house in Matunic. It was the summer home of Edward Everett Hale, the American author, and his family of artists and writers who summered here for 37 years.
Good.
Yeah.
And that's where you sponsored a concert by Honey Boy Edwards.
Oh, that's
That
right,
was
in
fantastic.
in
What a-
1910,
what
in
an
2010.
That was.
I don't even think Honey Boy was born in
No.
1910, but that was a magical, just unforgettable
was.
evening. And what was even more unforgettable was Honey Boy stayed at our house that night, at Marty and my house.
my
And
goodness.
I made him breakfast in the morning, and I made him, you know, authentic grits. He told me I made the grits good. I had never done that before. And he sat with us for an hour and just spoke on things that, it was amazing, the clarity at which he could remember things from so long ago. And Marty and I were just amazed by him, and we memorialized him on this record, on the song Blues for Honey Boy, which actually is the most played record and has been heard all around the world, so we're so happy about that.
That's great. Did you happen to record the conversation with him?
No, I didn't
No.
want to whip out a video
Yeah,
that morning.
yeah, I can
There are a
understand
number
it.
of videos on YouTube of him telling stories during that show, and you can Google like Honey Boy on Bertha Patton or whatever, Elvis Presley. He was just making all these crazy comments about everything that night. He was really on and just talking about everything. So you can see those on YouTube. But that morning was just for us. We were just hanging out with him, and it was just unforgettable.
Something you'll never forget, right?
And then we went down to Shaw, Mississippi, and explored his hometown. And we've spent a lot of time now in Mississippi, Marty and me, and I'm just so addicted to Mississippi. If you haven't been down there and you're a blues lover, you must go to Mississippi.
Great. Well, what are you going to play for us today?
Well, since we have Rich Lataile here, we'd like to start off with My Man Rocks Me. This is a song that actually Rich turned us onto it a couple of years ago and said, you really ought to do this. And I'm so glad he did. It was written in 1921 by J. Bernie Barber and recorded by the blues diva Trixie Smith. And historically, it's very important. It was the first time we in music rocked around the clock, the first time the words rock and roll were used together, and this is 30 years before Bill Haley. So we'll feature Rich on this, and hope you like it.
Great.
1, 2, 3.
What's great about that tune now too, Paul, is Woody Allen just put it in Blue Jasmine. So now hopefully
That's
it will
right, I
have a
remember it in
renewed,
the
yeah.
soundtrack. I see.
Yeah, and the scene where they're going antiquing for the house, yeah.
Don't give it away.
Oh, okay, sorry.
What?
Spoiler alert.
I've
Okay.
seen the videos.
Oh, right, sorry, Rich hasn't seen it.
All right, well, that's a small scene. And Rich, Roomful Blues just came out with another
We
album.
did, yes. 45 Live.
How's it doing?
It's doing pretty good, you know. These days people don't actually buy CDs, but
Yeah.
it's getting radio play pretty regularly, so that's
Good.
good. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's the #1 on the blues charts, which was kind of cool.
Hey, you got something else?
Yeah, but I wanted to say, if you don't mind, that, you know, Paul, as you know, millions, I mean, it's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of blues CDs come out every year, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, because you're a blues disc jockey, and these blues shows are basically limited to 1, 2, 3 hours a week, so there's a very limited numbers that
window,
are selected.
right.
So over the past couple of months, on many of the playlists that I've been scanning, you'll see Roomful of Blues, Ursula George, Duke Robillard, and so we represent this tiny corner of the world, and yet all over the world, Rhode Island blues is being heard. So it's certainly an honor for me to be on anything Roomful is on. And you
Great.
got a call?
No, go ahead.
Okay. I
Whoever's
should have
calling,
taken calls. Anybody have a question?
We're too busy to talk on the phone right now.
We are willing to give away some CDs, though, if you'd like, during
Okay.
your show, and you can send me the names and addresses, and Marty and
All
I
right.
will mess them up with sparkly Sharpies and mail them out.
Sure. After we finish the last hour, I'll give them away.
All right.
All right, you also have a show coming up at Chan's.
Yes, we do, on October 19th, our annual Chan's party, and we have our 7-piece band. Roomful is out of the state then,
Out of
so
the
we
state,
have
West
2
Virginia.
other terrific horn players performing with us. We have Jeff Galindo on trombone, and Jeff has been touring the world with Esperanza